Check, 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 check. What's up, VOD viewers? This is going to be a very long stream. I'm just going to talk about raids the whole time, so skip ahead while I figure out music and wait for people to file in, hopefully, if anyone ever shows up. What do we want to listen to today? I think there was some... I haven't even thought about copyright-free music in a while. Probably something. Yo, Untotes, what's up? Welcome, welcome. How we doing today? I gotta pull up Restream on my side monitor. And then eventually pull up music here. My summer has been pretty great so far. I've been bouncing around a lot. I'm randomly at my apartment and no one's in town. And I'm not doing anything till tomorrow for the 4th. So I just had like kind of the rest of the day off. So I'm just chilling. I thought I'd go live. Had kind of the itch to talk about raids with people recently. And kind of re-examining my plans for what I'm doing raid wise. So like thought that it'd be fun to just kind of shoot the shit with people. And maybe share some stuff that I have done or kind of like figured out or started to breed stuff, that kind of thing. At restream.io. Go with this one, 80s synthwave. Oh god. That's coming out over my speakers. That was probably a hell loud too. Let me know if I just blasted your eardrums out. Yo, what's up, Envoys? My audio stuff does not want to update. Okay, music is on. Let me know if you can hear it. Sky Eats Me, what's going on? It's a comfortable level for me, but that's usually a little bit too quiet for people. So I'm gonna crank that up a little bit. If you are in the chat, I'm curious if you have done, I guess I could like run a poll or something, but I'm curious if anyone or how far people are along the raid prep, because not gonna lie, I feel like I've been slacking a bunch. Well, I haven't really played the game all that much, other than like checking in on investments and doing a little bit of flipping here and there if I'm bored, but haven't really had the urge to do like consistent money making, that sort of stuff, or leveling, because I have a shitload of leveling to do. So many Pokemon that need levels for raids, but I have been breeding some, so I've got like that prep. But as far as raid prep, how many Pokemon would you say that you've prepared, if any? I'm at like 5 or 6 at level 100. You got 10 Mons. Are those bred or leveled or EV trained? 25 out of 60. The devs are slacking, TBH Anime Goose. This is a pretty typical... From what I understand, I've only been playing on and off for like 2-ish years, like consistently for a year and change. From what I understand, this is pretty much their normal release schedule. So I think patience is definitely key as far as waiting for new content in PokeMMO. Yeah, 10 ready for raids. Yeah, I'm looking at, I probably want about, I think I'm looking at about 40-ish that that I want ready, but I have a really good idea as to the priority of what I want to get done first. And I think that that would help a lot of people out that are lazy like me, in that you see a list of 60 Pokemon and you're like, fuck, like, do I really have to do all this? It's just like seems a bit insurmountable. You kind of have to chip away one at a time. But if you just kind of break it down into like teams, and I've been looking at it a lot from the typing perspective of you know, what's going to be the most effective types. And spoiler alert, fire is going to be the best as far as most raids go. If you just break it down in those types, then you'll probably be pretty well off. And then I've started to look at likely raid bosses, at least what I think are likely raid bosses, and starting to break down a little bit further as to what at least the easy ones look like. So in the 16 I want ready from day one, I have like 4 ready. Yeah, that's kind of that's more or less where I'm at. I have some pretty ugly boxes right now, but I can start to organize them a little bit. But let's see. Oh, this is out over my speakers too. I gotta fix that real quick. Output. See, I think that's better. All right. Let's find my chart. We'll change this box name real quick to raids. This was I just finished breeding my Metagrosses for Elite 4 reruns. So that's fun. You can kind of get a sense of what I'm prioritizing here based on these rows, but let me find my other Charizard because I have 2. These were pickups that I'm very happy I got from the whatchamacallits, the Christmas balls. I've got 2 solar power Charizards that I can use, which I'm stoked about. Obviously I can only use one at a time, but I can lend one out to people. This one's only 28 special attack, but for most of these like initial breeds, I'm deciding that I'm gonna go like 30-ish. Like Charizard is gonna be overkill on damage the vast majority of the time, so I'm okay with 28 here. But for a lot of stuff, ended up getting 3129, or I'm sorry, 3129. It's, yeah, mixed Crawdon, but it's naughty. Don't really care that much about it. This Piplup is only 3027, but it cost me like 8k. Oshawott 2829 also only cost me, I think, like 30k total to breed. So I'm taking a very budget approach to most of these like initial just damage dealers a lot of the time, especially the starters that are just using the Hyper Beam type equivalent, so Hydro Cannon for water. Though I want those to die quickly, so I want really bad defensive stats, 2, 4, 14. Same thing here. It's like 23, obviously almost too much for this Samurott eventually, but this I believe is my PvE. Yeah. This one's good. I kind of went all out. I probably got some deals on breeders. So I've got the Volk. I don't think I have a dedicated Chandelure, but I can always just repurpose. Let's see. I have this timid one, which isn't ideal. And then I have my modest one for... I'll probably just end up reusing this one. Because its stats are dog. I just bred this terribly when I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, I'll just drag that over. Fire. Where's my Darm? Aramaka. Don't I have one? Maybe I never made one. Oh, there it is. And then bang. I'm looking at really 4. Probably add Embor as this last 5th one for what is it? This is Sheer Force and that one's Reckless. Yeah. So like 3125 for speed on this one. What's the base stats on Darmanitan? Probably okay. I think you're going to be operating under Tailwind the vast majority of the time. So I think it's base speed. Yeah, it's still respectable at 95. So don't really care that much. I'm still going to EV train at full speed. Might lose out on some bulk, but again, like I don't care too much about these Pokemon. I think I just got a decent deal on this one. Just bought it outright as it was. So fire, water, electric, and then probably ice dragon are going to be my next two priorities. Just in terms of like pure damage dealing. My raid guide, I don't want to say I'm unhappy with it, but it was done from the perspective of just preparing for the harder raids, and the more that I think about it, at least in terms my laziness is taking over, the more that I think about it, the less I want to try to prepare for those hard raids, because they're just gonna have crazy mechanics that are just gonna have like these super specific things that you have to do probably. That you can focus on those like big base stat pseudo legendaries, and like you kind of get there too. Like I kind of mentioned, like these two in particular. Legendaries are all probably good, like especially the electric types are good. But overall, I'm just gonna focus on making sure that I have teams that can take care of probably like 95%. So that's gonna be a sun team, a rain team, electric, dragon, ice. And then after that, like sun is so good that fire is so good into anything where there's not weather that it's like the top damage, even if there's super effective stuff. So sun alone is, if like you needed to breed 6 Pokemon for raids and you were limited to only 6, it would basically just be a sun team. Where's my Ninetales? It would basically just be a sun team plus Murkrow for Defog and or Tailwind. I don't have one here. It's probably somewhere else. Wow, Rare Cav stream. Did you even properly advertise in team chat? I did not. No, I could do that, I guess. So like my fire team's kind of set. I could just run like these guys right now and throw in another Volcarona if raids drop tomorrow. Let's say they just like surprise drop the anniversary event. Like that's... Oh, they want... Thanks, Be Vegan, for dropping the link for me. Yo, Solomon, what's going on? Probably should have waited for more people to file in before I started talking about everything. I need to breed more Firemons. Yeah, like I would say top priority is fire. It's pretty much Charizard beats everything. Then I think I believe it's Charizard, Chandelure, Darmanitan, Emboar, and then Volcarona. So Overheat for the special attackers, Flare Blitz for the physical. Emboar does need its HA though, so that's a bit more expensive. And then on the electrics, maybe I'll do like Ampharos right now. That would be fun. Another quick tip. There's a lot of otherwise kind of lackluster, like if you just look at Crawdaunt, Minoon, and Plusle, all 3 alphas, kind of undesirable alphas as they are. So you see a lot of them getting posted. No one really thinks about using them right now, but you can get pretty great deals on these Pokemon. Like Minoon, Plusle, and Ampharos are all the top 3 electric attackers and like top just base flat attack without needing weather because of plus and minus. So it's going to be very helpful to have those, especially if you're coordinating with a team. And they're just generally very cheap. I think I got each of these for like sub 40k. See if they're still on my trade log. No. I was doing some breeding, so I did that. Hiplup and Oshawott. Young Cabbage, what's going on, man? The one and only. Yeah, it's been a very, very long time since I've streamed or put out any content. So yeah, these two in particular are going to be super cheap to pick up via, like, as soon as you see an Alpha Storm drop, like you can even check right now. Like these don't need to be, like, you could just go You could look for like mild 30 special attack, and then we'll just see what the speeds look like. Like, bang, 20k right there. Somebody like 18k. These are going to be very, very good. Like you might as well just spend like this is a decent buy. I'm not going to buy it, but anybody watching wants to. If there's there might even be modest for cheap. That's probably why I got mine modest. Like 15k 0 speed, I wouldn't go for that. The 27 speed's respectable at 25k. And yo, Onyx Pro, what's going on? We are getting some viewers filing, and I wasn't sure if anyone was going to show up, if the algorithms were just going to punish me for not streaming for so long. So like Minoon Plusle, great. Ampharos, great. I believe the other one is Kling Klang, but it's so slow and doesn't have the stab bonus, at least for electric. So I think it's just not... Oh, no, it wasn't slow. I guess it's just... It's something about it. When I was running calcs, it was bad. I think it's just it's typing and access to moves. Just doesn't fit well with the other three. So it's I think it's like the three of those, and then Magneton, Zapdos for electric attackers, or Magnezone rather. So Magnezone would be another one. There might be cheap modest Magnezones because it, or does it want modest, or does it need timid with Scarf to outspeed something in PvP? Let's see. Okay, so some modest use, but mostly timid. Modest is probably a bit cheaper. So let's see. 31 modest Magnezone for Thunder. Yeah, they exist, and it does have that. It's alpha, so that would be another one that you could just wait for the alpha swarm. So Magnezone's a good one. Zapdos, if you had it, Raikou, Jolteon, but by the time you're getting to the ends, like the 4th, 5th best electric attacker, there's a lot of cases where you might, you know, if let's say it's a flying raid, you're better off bringing like Rampardos as that 5th slot to use a rock gem and kind of blast like that flying Pokemon for whatever. And you'll need accuracy support for that. Another thing that I can talk about a little bit eventually is accuracy support, in that evasion stages were not reset by the bosses. So if you defogged, it kept the evasion debuff on it, which enables things like Blast Burn to hit 100% of the time, enables things like Hydro Cannon, Hydro Pump. Importantly, Thunder will hit 100% of the time under -1, or is it -2 for? I think it's -2. So if you need -2, you have Sweet Scent for that. So Sweet Scent's going to have actual in-battle use instead of just being a purely out-of-battle ability for the most part. So that'll be fun. Yeah. So what I want to do, I want to breed. I made a Heracross. Came out pretty solid. I got some deals on breeders. Heracross I like just because it's got the fighting and bug going for it. Raid Ready Sweet Center is real, dude. If you want a good... Most people will have a Shaman, so we don't have Prankster Sweet Scent right now. It will come on... I believe it's Illumise. I don't know how to say it. Illumise hidden ability is Prankster, and it gets Sweet Scent. The fastest Sweet Center right now is Superior. At base 113. So I'm concerned with speed here, just because you want to outspeed the boss and your other Pokemon that you're boosting. It does get Sweet Scent, right? Yeah, I scrolled past it. Sweet Scent. Another good support mon that's just high base speed that you could breed, that's just in case you can't Prankster. Let's say it's a dark boss or whatever, and you need that high base speed for whatever reason. Jumpluff kind of functions as like a Whimsicott, sort of, where you've got Sweet Scent. You have access to Tailwind, I want to say, or am I making that up? Yeah, you do have Tailwind and Sweet Scent, so that's pretty much the only two buttons you would ever need to click. But you can also throw some other stuff on there, like anything that's generally useful. You could throw a screen on there. Is it light screen and reflect? Yeah, so you could go reflect. It could be a screens Pokemon for you, and could be Tailwind, Sweet Scent. But like Defog is going to be used the vast majority of the time, I'd say. Which really makes Prankster, Murkrow kind of the best. Like screens are not going to be that useful, especially if Sun is the meta, because you're going to be using Pokemon that use Blast Burn. So it's better to just die quickly. So like I could envision just kind of a raid fight going like, you lead two Murkrows, one person Tailwinds, one person Defogs, the other two just do damage. So they just lead their Charizards, click Blast Burn twice. You've already done 20% to the boss. You have the evasion debuff for the whole fight. Is there a paste for the top recommendations for the rain mons out there? There's not a paste, but I kind of have a list in my raid guide. I believe off the top of my head, the best are Empoleon and Samurott with Hydro Cannon. I would throw in Kingdra. I think Kingdra Hydro Pump / Brine is up there. It's not like top. I want to say it's like top 8. But it has Water Dragon going for it, so you kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I would take the hit, not being like the most optimal Watermon, but breeding one that is very good in 2 situations. Dragon's a pretty decent type to have access to. Dropping Dracos on the harder raid bosses, and then just having a Pokemon that can just do neutral Dragon hits neutral into everything but steel. So you can just drop Dracos on pretty much anything and throw. It's like slightly splashable, kind of like Porygon Z is splashable with Hyper Beam. Then so it's those. Brine, Rain's an interesting one because of Brine. Brine's 130 base power when the boss is below 50% HP. So then I want to say it's Vaporeon for the Brine users, like Vaporeon, Omastar, I want to say, are the next 2 up, roughly. Oh, and then Crawdaunt with Crabhammer. I bought one. You want to kind of splash in physical attackers for choice band, so that gives you a bit more variety. Crawdaunt, I think, also just generally does a shitload of damage regardless because of adaptability. And it's another good one, Water Dark. So you'll drop huge assurances for a dark type. Thoughts on trying to use Murkrow to haze off your stat drops from Draco? It could be useful, but you're probably not going to be in a situation where the Kingdra has lived a second turn. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to live, you're better off just like clicking Dragon Pulse turn 1 and then clicking Draco turn 2. You have to kind of predict that, but you're still predicting anyway. And then if you know that there's a situation where the Kingdra's not going to get targeted for whatever reason, I can't think of a specific situation, and then there's also a period where like the boss buffs itself and you need a haze, like you can get cute with it for sure and be like, okay, I'm going to drop a Drake. Like I'm going to get my Kingdra in right before we get to this auto move where the boss uses, I don't know, Iron Defense. So somebody needs to drop the Iron Defense anyway. They're going to use haze. And then it's going to reset my debuff. Then sure. But I wouldn't necessarily plan too much on playing around it. With that said, the same reason that, the double dance kind of sweepers, the Reunicluses and the Metagrosses. Where's my Reuniclus? Like Reuniclus was super good when we had no idea what we were doing and you just needed something to solo carry raid. But imagine this, we've all had time to prepare. It's pretty obvious that Sun's going to be very good. I could very much foresee a situation where you were in the Petratsky Discord and it's looking for group for raids. People are going to be like looking for 2 more running Sun against what's a random Gen 5 Pokemon that we could use for an example. So let's say, I'm using Gen 5 for a reason. Let's say a hypothetical Unpheasant raid. Well, I'll pick something where that is Fire Weak. So let's say Leave Annie. 4x weak to fire. Fire is going to be far and away the best. We're just going to... people are just going to advertise and say, okay, we're running... like bring a Sun team in the same way for the Gyarados fight. Everyone was like, okay, you need electric. Like what are your electric types? What are you bringing to the table here? They're going to filter out for, do you have a Sun? Like, do you have things that can abuse Sun? Sandstorm team enjoyers. Yeah. Sandstorm is basically going to be just abusing Sand Force to get Earthquake damage up. Earthquake's going to be rough just because it takes the doubles debuff damage. Oh yeah, also Shaman's a good one if you have one for Sweet Scent, just because it's base 100 speed, and what else are you going to use your Shaman for? So that's one to consider. I think Metagross is still good. Metagross is good, but not for the reasons that people think. So Metagross's damage from Explosion is going to be insane, even with the doubles damage debuff, just because the base power of Explosion is 250. You don't even need the stab bonus. So that's going to be a huge chunk of damage. And then it's just like very good overall in terms of move pool. It's got screens, a bunch of like cute stuff that you can do it. Its typing may allow it to live longer. So it could still be one that you want to build bulky and then just have Explosion to do damage after it's done something important, whatever that may be. Maybe it clicked screens, maybe it, I don't know, it hard clicked weather for some reason. You trick something onto it, who knows. Gyro balls could be useful in certain situations. Steel as like an offensive type is just kind of bad though. There may be like specific bosses where steel ends up being better, but I would not prioritize it. Normal gem, probably. The problem is that like if you're the best normal gem user is far and away Porygon Z. Is this my Porygon Z? Yeah. Just your adaptability. This is also, so like instead of breeding all these fire Pokemon, I would make one of these a Porygon Z. Just because it's going to do about as much damage and you can use it for other stuff faster. So maybe like skip the Volk, for example, or skip the Emboar and have it be a Porygon Z. But yeah, clicking Hyper Beam with Porygon Z, you're going to want to use normal gem for that. Band will probably go to a physical attacker that's super effective against whatever the boss is, more likely. But if you just don't have anything, like Band Explosion is great. Licky Licky is a slightly better Explosion user, just because it gets the stab bonus. But Metagross probably has a niche there. Metagross is Metagross will have use as a pseudo, but like we just don't know what it is, so I'm not going to make one for it. You can always do the double dance sweep thing, but people are going to probably not want to take people on raids that have to use things like double dance, Metagross, or Uniclus, because if you bring even a neutral boss like let's say I use the Tranquil example, or this isn't the Evo, yeah, what is it, Unpheasant, for example. You could use Electric for the stab, super effective stab. Fire neutral is probably still going to do a shitload of damage to this. So you could just bring a Sun Team, and then if you say, well, okay, sorry, I don't have a Sun Team, I only have a Double Dance Metagross. It takes you 6 turns to set up to even be able to do like 5% damage at a time, where a Sun Team user has already done, let's say, I don't know, like 50 to 60% damage of the boss. Like you're just wasting everyone's time. So you're not wasting everyone's time, but you're just not well equipped. So like the top end players are just going to be rushing down all of the easy raids. And if you don't have those Pokemon, people are going to want to fill those slots with people who can finish the raids faster, so that everyone, you know, just like it's if you have multiple alts to catch alphas, you want the fastest possible alpha catching team. You're going to want the fastest raid boss killing teams. So if you're just going to solo queue and you don't care that much, yeah, building a few prankster Pokemon and a couple double dance sweepers that can kind of solo carry the super easy ones works. But if you just build this Sun Team, you can probably solo most raids and have it go faster in solo queue with the Sun Team than, let's say, if you were to bring, you know, like a Metagross, a Reuniclus, what else? I don't know. Solo queue pairs you up with random people. It does. So as it released, solo queue was just for like literally solo queuing. There was not any kind of matchmaking in terms of, you know, queuing as a duo or trio and then having it fill. Eventually, I believe it's on the roadmap for them to eventually have that be a thing, so you could queue with 2 people and then have the queue system fill those. But I think just for the sake of getting that out there, they just did solo and didn't worry about like having to make all the permutations, combinations of Q work. So eventually would be a thing, but what are the IVs and items you run on the Sun team? So items in general for raids are basically going to be, you want to figure out the best combination of using all the best damaging items that you have. So for the 50% plus damage items, you've got choice band, choice specs for physical and special. You've got, and then you have gem. So the first three, for example, are going to be Charizard in terms of pure damage, Darmanitan for physical, Chandelure for special with overheat. And something interesting that could happen, let's say Charizard just does so much damage that it's like kind of hard to explain how much damage it does with solar power sun. I think the multiplier is like 2.75. Coffee Daily, what's up? Dizzle, all I do is teach. Also know you may not want to put this. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So if you, let's say you put choice specs on Charizard, it might already do 10% raw. Like you might not even need an item on Charizard. You could do something wild like drop Assault Vest on it. And it could probably still do damage cap, especially if it's like a 4x raid. Like you could have Assault Vest Charizard just live and spam Weather Ball. And so you could put specs on it as your biggest damage dealer, but you could drop the specs down to like let's say the Ninetales for its own Weather Ball or Overheat, probably Overheat, and then put Fire Gem on Chandelure and Choice Band on Darmanitan. So items are super variable. And then things get really interesting because, okay, we're out of, now we can put like Life Orb on Volcarona, hypothetically, let's say. Normal Gem Hyper Beam, I believe, is going to do more than the Life Orb Volcarona. So even though I'm saying build Sun, you still want some variety because of the item restrictions, because you only have so many to do, and then gems allow splashing of other typings to do an added 50% that might out damage something with like a charcoal or a life orb or something that's not plus 50%. So that's just something to keep in mind. So hearing is my semi-comp Charizard is potentially usable. I wouldn't say just potentially usable at raids. I would argue that like in terms of like triple S tier Pokemon for raids, it's like right now it's like Charizard and Murkrow. Love AV Charizard. It's on my Alpha Catch team. Seismic Toss, Dragon Rage, False Swipe. See, now that is something I never would have considered. Yeah, Link it, go ahead. I should have my whispers open. I'm not as popular as like Petrowski, who can't have them open without getting spammed. I'm CAAV, which I'm sure you know. But yeah, Charizard is just kind of the GOAT. If you wanted to get cute with like ability patch Fire, like I could see that spiking up in price when raids drop and everyone starts to realize how good Sun is. Right after the Lunar New Year event, the hidden ability Charizards were mad cheap, and you could scoop up the level 100 ones for super cheap. And now they're, I think that they were like 30k, and now they're like 140k. But yeah, minus a Murkrow strat. What's the Murkrow strat? Just prankster stuff. So I was talking about it a little bit before. Basically, yeah, prankster stuff. Prankster Tailwind is huge. It's also like just fast enough as is that it doesn't really matter. It's probably good enough at 91 base speed to still outspeed a lot of the alphas with a full speed invest. So that even if you don't prefer dark or ability suppressing Pokemon where you can't prankster, you can probably still get that Tailwind off, and Tailwind's probably the most important support move that you can click. Next to Defog and Haze, which it also has. Defog is super good for the evasion drop. And then Haze is good for whenever you need that. So like for the Gyarados fight where it gets the Omni boost, just hazing that off is super powerful. So like Murkrow is by far the best prankster Pokemon. I'm not as bullish on Sableye for Reflect. Sableye is good defensively, but you don't need defenses in the easy raids. They're kind of, they were good for us as like just kind of training wheels to figure out raids. But now that like it's plainly obvious that just pure damage kind of burns through most of the easy raid fights, even some of the harder ones like Gyarados, it's just not as great. Can I ban straight from, I think I need to get mods. How do I get to my own channel? This is fun. One second. Wait, he's cooking. What's my own Twitch name? There it is. That's not it. The 3Bs. Very fun. I have to enter mod view or some shit. I think, you know, I've made it because this is the first time that I have. Can I not moderate? What the hell? /ban works. Thanks. He said, sorry for bothering me. So that, yeah. Sorry for spamming. Sorry, not sorry. Chat modes. All right, where was I? Did that delete the message? Whatever. Comp, modest. Yeah, this would be fine. Speed would be a little bit low, but like I doubt that it would be a problem. I think Charizard's base speed is very good, and then you just speed invest it anyway. Let's see. Yeah, at 100, losing like 6 IVs on speed. Deleted it, thanks. Yeah, so moves, you probably want something like it's Blast Burn, Weather Ball. Does it get Incinerate in case you need it? Let's just do alphabetical. Something AoE. Heat Wave is all adjacent foes. So something like Heat Wave. So like Blast Burn, Heat Wave, Weather Ball. So Weather Ball in case Charizard lives. Blast Burn in case it doesn't live. So you Blast Burn for that massive 140, 130, 150 base. But then it won't, then it loses the its next turn like Hyper Beam. So that's going to be your normal damaging move. And then Weather Ball while you're under Sun. Solar Beam on Charizard? No, you typically want to stick to stabs. The only time I would consider running Solar Beam on something that is non-stab is probably Ninetales. In case you're setting Sun for like a solar powered grass team. This is just a random moveset that I use to beat the storyline with, I think. I wouldn't put too much thought into it. I just made a Drought Ninetales a long time ago, just because I thought it'd be a decent PVM Pokemon for things like events. Used it for like the Lunar New Year stuff, if I remember correctly. So let's say it's something that's grass weak. You set Sun, hypothetical Swampert raid, or let's say Gastron raid, 4 times weak to grass. you can click Solar Beam then, even though you don't have the stab, because you're going to be in regardless to set Sun. So you might as well click something that's useful. I wouldn't use, I don't know what the calc ends up being for Charizard for Solar Beam on like, yeah, like you're saying on like Chlorophyll teams or other solar power teams like Lilligant. Tropius is another one, but they're both very slow. So it's like, it might work out because of the solar power increase, but then you're just looking, that basically just evens out to being stab. So it might be useful as like, if you don't have any of the grass Pokemon, throw that in. But there are probably other better grass types. Frenzy Plant makes grass do a shitload of damage. So like, I believe Sceptile is the best abuser of that. At 105, yeah. So Frenzy Plant is the grass Hyper Beam equivalent. So I think it's like Sceptile, Venusaur, and then you have Solar Power. Is it? No, it's not. It's Sunflora rather. I get those two mixed up in my head. I don't know why. So Solar Power, Sunflora, Leaf Storm does an absolute massive amount of damage. Should I go for Calm or Bold on my Rotom Wash for my doubles team? I don't know anything about doubles. I mean, we can just check. I don't even know, is Rotom good for doubles? Let's see. Seems like a wash. I guess it just depends. I think Bold is generally more common. It's a wash. But it doesn't look like Rotom is that good as a defense. I just don't know how the doubles meta plays out at all, to be honest. Is it still viable to bring Sun to a raid like Gastrodon? Yeah, if the weather's there, for sure. I don't think you can ever answer. Yeah, like there's with no context. Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like I probably couldn't even look at a team at like a PokePace and be like, yeah, you probably want like more physical defense there for checking this, and this. Like, I'm not that good at PvP, so I can't rip those off the dome. Yeah, well, I don't even remember what I was talking about. Talking about low level raid. Was there a high level raid where DPS didn't work? No, like all the high level raids ended up being just burn 'em fights. They ended up being so much easier if you just rush down the boss. So Excadrill and Gyarados were the two hardest. And if you just ran all electric for Gyarados, just spammed electric attacks, you beat it pretty easily. And then for Excadrill, if you just ran like everyone just brings gym run Pokemon because it was weak to water and fire. So you just brought Typhlosion and Blastoise with Tailwind. You burned it down pretty quickly. I made this, but I don't know if it's viable. I also don't know if it's viable, so. I do know that pretty much everything in doubles wants Protect. Though I know that there's specific exceptions. Okay, sounds good. I prefer DPS oriented raids. Ho-Oh fight, for example, would be tough as a team, requires coordinating and defending. Exactly. So like the coordinating and defending fights are going to be the legendaries that haven't released yet. We may get them as rewards for those fights, or they could just be standalone fights where we beat the legendary and we get some sort of alternate reward that isn't necessarily the Pokemon itself. But like you could imagine, I don't know, like, I guess they're not actually in the decks, but even let's say like a Volcarona. like a hypothetical Volker on a raid, get that Swarm HA. It's probably going to set Permasun for itself. So like that eliminates water. It's probably going to have Giga Drain. So that further makes water less good. So that might, and it might make rock even worse because you're going to get like a lot of rock ground types that would do huge damage to it. But if it's allowed to Giga Drain 4 times per fight, it might negate all of the rock damage that you're doing. So it could end up being like flying ends up being the best. And then you also need to do some sort of like speed control with it. So somebody needs to bring something with like Prankster Scary Face, and that ends up, so because it has Quiver Dance, or you also need Haze. So those could be like the gotchas where you have to bring something that hazes, or you have to bring something with speed control to drop the boss's speed from after it's like Quiver Danced a couple times. So those will be the things where it's like you can't click pure damage, or you have to be smart about the damage that you're bringing for those like super, super hard raids. I think raid gameplay will look kind of similar to a Halloween boss where you had to get a feeling for when to push for damage and trigger phases. That will be key to master. Yeah, I generally agree with that. It'll be interesting to see if they make the Halloween fight a raid and not like a single player fight. Yeah, let's see. Wow, really? Let's do Cran. So just looking at some hypothetical username is same there. Love it when people helping each other out. I'm annoyed that like the best rock types are both fossils and their price. Why didn't that? Okay. Like a 31 attack Archon is like drop 30. Yeah, nah. So I was kind of talking about evasion and dropping evasion being important before. So to reiterate there, Defog dropping the boss's evasion by 1, and Sweet Scent dropping the boss's evasion by 2. Are going to be useful. Head Smash becomes 100% accurate with 1 defog, 1 evasion reduction, and ends up being all of like the 150 base power stab moves end up being great. So like Head Smash, Archeops, Head Smash, Rampardos, Rock Wrecker, Rhyperior end up being all the best rock damage types, and then rock ends up being a very good type where weather isn't allowed, so that's another type to consider at least bringing. How cheap Dittos are, these fossil Pokemon are still crazy priced. Yeah, mostly I think because of the gender cost, but yeah, even still, like breeding 2 times 31, you can just ignore. Well, I guess the Dittos are probably like, what's a one, like a speed adamant Ditto, 28k is not bad at all. That's plus 10 across. Yeah, Dittos are mad cheap right now, holy. Maybe I'll do that real quick and just breed one of these. Then there's a Beldum a few weeks ago. Yeah, same for Staryu and stuff. Then there's a Beldum a few weeks ago where people are literally listing that at a loss. Yeah, I should have waited to breed my Metagross, I guess. So I'll go through like what I'm looking for in a breed really quick. Let's do Rhyperior, for example. We don't need the 31 speed. We probably want 25, 26. Let's do... Do I have alpha enabled? Or is it really just no Rhydons. So like this would be a useful Rhydon. Archeops is good for raids. Dude, it crushes. Let's look at it. Base stats, 140 base attack, 110 base speed. So we got 140 base attack. Then we have a stab, 150 base power head smash. It doesn't need to be comp because it's just going to click head smash once and then probably die. Rock as a type just needs that evasion support to get head smash to be good. And then if you look at Rhyperior for what's Rock Wreckers? Yeah, it's 90. Yeah, it's the Rock Hyper Beam. So the one drawback I think is just its speed is so abysmal. So definitely needs Tailwind support and might not be able to outspeed faster things, but Rhyperior might be a decent one just to have like the Rock Wrecker angle on. I would probably breed if I were prioritizing Archeops first. So let's see if I'll do like a quick breed, see if I can get a good decent deal on it. This is funny. I think that's a decent scoop at 30-30, but I guess if you spend 5k more, you get the 31-31. 40 is very bad even with Tailwind. The thing you have to remember though is that you can invest in speed and that you're facing raid Pokemon are considered wild Pokemon, so they don't have the EV invest. So even though it's 40, it still can outspeed a lot of stuff at the same level. All right, we're gonna ignore. We can very easily breed. Let's just get a look at. So floor price 12k. Let's see what 15 and cross. So we can get 21k. Like this is a good start for the base stats. It's already 28. So like you could probably turn this 21. Like if I were to get. Yeah, I don't know. Might just ignore the attack and breed around it. Need Dittos, obviously. Let's buy this. We've got it. And then let's start looking at Dittos, and maybe I'll leave it as 28 and just keep it cheap. So like if I find a matching Ditto, 28 Adamant. Oh no, because I won't be able to pass decent speed over to it. So I can ignore the 28. I'm gonna, if I brace this, like I'm okay with 28 just because it's going to be so much damage as it is. So I could brace the attack for 20k and then just use a Ditto like this. It doesn't really make much sense though. I think I just need to breed speed onto it first. So let's look at Dittos where we get like ignore Adamant. 31 speed base Ditto is that, and then let's just get it like 15. Damn, that's where it's not that. With Archon to get its egg move, does it need egg moves? I'm just gonna be clicking head smash on it. Or not head smash, but you know what I mean. Oh, it's an egg move. Good catch. That saved me. Okay, so that makes... This is a really annoying one, isn't it then? Let's pull that up. So we're going to go to PokeMMO hub. I'm doing this on my side computer. Huge catch. Is it egg and... Is it only egg? Or does it learn it as... thought it wasn't. No, it is egg. Okay, good. Always check your egg moves. Do as I say, not as I do. So if you're breeding an Archeops, egg move, egg move, egg move. While that's loading, we can just look at, might be like, what else gets it? I don't even know. Head smash. Oh god, it's a pain in the ass. We need to go Relicanth to Corsola to Archin, however you say it. All right. You could get cute and breed an IV onto it. So this needs to be flipped to female, then bred with... I need a male Relicanth with head... Rock head. No, what is it? Head smash? I'm losing my mind. It's head smash, okay. Rockhead is the ability. Head smash. Clear these. Male Relicanth with head smash and 31 attack. Did I leave that up? So we will yoink that. It's... Spadef is lackluster. This is going to be an expensive breed, but it's a fun one, so we're going to do it anyway. It was male. We need a female Corsola. Gender female. Let's try and get like 25 plus in special defense. We're going to breed, like, yeah, this is perfect. We'll get an attack brace. And make sure that that is male. And then we'll also get a ditto while that's going. Any tournament finished. Congrats, worship it be. So we're making a male Corsola. What is Corsola's egg group? Does this make sense? What's Arc? Why is this water C? What the heck? Okay, whatever. 2024, Spadef might go up as far as 28. Hopefully it just mid rolls at like 14. If it low rolls, I'll cry. And then we want this to be male. 9,000. Lovely. Didn't know it was a... Alright, and then we'll ditto up our... Let me find that adamant. 31 speed ditto really quick. That's not what we're going to use immediately, but we will use it eventually. 29, 21, 1. Go with this one, 17, 15, 20, and then we'll breed the attack. That's just going to be nature for later. And then we need 31 speed. This is going to allow us... That allows us to ignore gender on the last one, so it saves us like 20k. Pretty sure that'll be worth it. I could be wrong, though. I'm also just lazy. I didn't feel like going through the egg groups and finding breeders, equivalent breeders. Where did my restream chat go? There we go. What's up, Team Rocket? What's up there, C. Michael? I got first rounded in that tourney. That's tough. I would get first rounded on every tourney. It's two. Rhyperior is 268 with Tailwind if I did my math. That's faster than Wild Level 100 with 130 base stat mons. Yeah, exactly. So even though it's super slow, it's not intuitive, but with Tailwind support, it can outspeed most stuff. The problem ends up being if the raid Pokemon also gets speed. Then you're kind of shot. We'll grab this one real quick to flip our Archon's gender. And then that'll be speed. So I'm going to need... what, 2 of these? And then I gotta grab a flame body Pokemon. Another fun thing that you could do while you're making all these raid Pokemon is you can just level them up to like 20 or so and then throw them on an alt. And not you. We'll get to you eventually. All right, make sure this is good. And then we need to guarantee female and drop the 20k on it. And I'll go get flame body. Everybody who has joined recently, I asked this earlier in the stream, but there are like 6 people here. How many Pokemon have you prepared for raids? Whether that's like just bred or bred and EV trained and leveled or some flavor in between. Might chip away at that slowly. That's what we're doing right now. Leon got me writing down the individual steps for my gift only run before I test something out. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that, but Philip's got 0. Archon being water sea makes no sense. I double checked because I was like, there's somebody put in the wrong egg group, so this egg calculator is broken on PokeMMO, but watch your vid halfway and prep most of those up. That's great. Half of one. If you have 0 prepared, these are the ones that I recommend. I talked to them about them a little bit already on stream, but making a Sun team gets you like a team that can beat almost 80% of raids, I would guess. I have a bunch of good IV untrained mons for raids. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm getting to, where I'm getting the IVs and stuff bred, but I have 30 ready, maybe half them EV. Not sure what's best for many, but probably just be offensive speed, right? Yeah, I'm going pretty much, if I'm making something ahead of time, I'm just counting on it being a damage dealer. So I'm just going modest, or in some cases like mild rash for special attackers, lonely naughty for physical attackers, to guarantee that they die out in case it's a move that like kind of expects them to not be alive the next turn. Hyper beam, blast burn, hydro cannon, plant, frenzy plant, for example. Yeah, I forgot to get flame body. Another fun support idea. Chair for flower gift. Parties up. Boosts your entire party. So that's another use case for Sun for other types. That I believe boosts attack and special attack. Look into these. Yeah. So for Sun, you want Solar Power Charizard. It's a little bit expensive now. You could probably skip that and just go with Chandelure and Emboar. Ninetales to set yourself Sun. Volcarona. I also have egg animations up, not to bait anyone. I don't egg, so we're going to see the egg animations and not get shinies. Yeah, sorry everybody. I just leave them up because I'll breed things and it be AFK, and so I just want to see when it's done. And on like my side computer. So sorry, not sorry. We have our male Corsola with head smash. And the Archon should be coming soon. Is it Archon or Archon? Because it's I'm pretty sure it's Archeops. Archeops sounds better. Then it would be Archon, but I think Archon sounds better. Yes, thank you. I had the shiny particle sound effects for an hour on stream. The baits are funny. Tomato, tomato. Tomato, 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 tomato. So Rampardos is another one of the head smashers. Base speed 58, not the best, but still good. Let's just learns it outright. That's good. So this would be a much easier one. Let me see if I can find it. While we're waiting for the other one, we can do 2 at a time, hopefully. Do like Cranidos. Like... $40K for this is pretty reasonable at 30 and 24 base speed. Adamant. Archaeopteryx. Oh, got it. Wait, did this just roll Adamant? Oh, this is done. Easy. Oh no, I have to breed onto it. Okay, wait. That's insane. RK. Is 5 times 31 not optimal for raids? It is not optimal in cases where you don't want to live. So if you're a Charizard, how do you leave? Let me figure out even how you learn Blast Burn really quick. So I just have it on this now. Is it a tutor move? It's definitely a tutor move. PokeMMO tutor moves. Sinnoh Battle Frontier. Two island on top of Waterfall House. Where even is... I'm already in Sinnoh, so we can do... I'm guessing you mean fight area? Is that the Battle Frontier here? In a house. Are you an old man? You're an old man. God, I forgot how slow strings are. I don't need you to describe items. Are there more houses? I guess I'll just go to Island 2. Resort area. Let me find this one while I'm at it. Fly to the right. Yep. Yeah, I don't want your free villa, bro. I'll never know what the Lumberry does. Sorry. You're not helpful. Is there another one up here? There's a house. It's not... Let me do Island 2 because I rarely come to Sinnoh anyway and I don't really care. I also could be giving. Looks like you've never been there. Yeah. Not wrong. All good. Is it up the waterfall? Yeah, that house. I just hit... Oh, I have a level 20 Larvesta in. Sick. I should start that breed first. Okay, I guess I need to bring it with me. Great. Let's breed... Could have been Zapdos. You're not wrong. That would have been unfortunate. It took me like 8K encounters to get my first roamer. Would have been really annoying if I need you to be first. That, and then you are going to be... It was attack on this one, right? Yeah, sick. That worked out. Wait, no, this doesn't make sense. No, I still need to do it anyway. I'm dumb. Because I have to Everstone. I could high roll, I guess. But I guess the question is, do I Everstone and try to high roll? And then just use a 2 times 31. Nah. I think it ends up making more sense. Need an attack bracer. What's up on Totes? No, that was repel. Crazy how your brain stops working. I don't need to learn. And then put speed on you. Like I could, no, I have to, it's so annoying. Make sure we get, oh. Okay, yeah, head smash disc over. Great. I don't need to. Not gonna spend the 20k on the gender because I have a Ditto to breed with it. And now we wait. There are a lot easier breeds to do. So like something like Pure Power Metacham, clicking close combat is going to do a boatload of damage. And you can probably breed that for mad cheap compared to something that's like a fossil gender ratio, whatever. So let's look at like Lonely 28 Metatites. 6k could do that. Naughty 1.5 Adamant. Yeah, people are like making decent semi-comp metachams. Is it useful in like NU or something, or UU? Yeah, it's a UU Pokemon, so that'll do it. Maybe a bad example. The starters were a good example for me because I was able to just get, like, I guess people are catching a bunch of starters, and the people that are catching starters probably aren't that good at the game. Big flame body proc. All right, let's see if she... Two green shard, 2 charcoal. Catch rate mod for Dex. Yeah, I have, I can link it. I have like this string separated out. I don't remember if I updated it for, we found out the Metagross Beldum ones. I think I did, but I never downloaded my own updates. So you can add this into your own strings, like Bill strings. It doesn't want to load. There are catch rates if you want to add them as up to date as we know them. What was it? Two green shards, 2 charcoals. Do I have any? I have green shards. I just need, do I have charcoals? I do. I have both. I'm dumb. Where did I get the charcoals from? That was from Christmas? Yeah, no problem. My audio just picked up. Oh, what other? I will pose questions to the chat. What other Pokemon have you Red, that I haven't really talked about, or other questions that you might have on just like the types in general offensively. I think I'll just download your strings. My old ones are from pre-Johto. So yeah, mine are just like my version of Bill's strings. So I add the catch data and I change a couple things. Like I've charms changed so that I can just type XP 50 or XP 100 or like Rich 100. Oh my god, riches are so expensive now. Still need to speed train this, I think. No, I did that. Okay, you're done. Trick Room raid? Yeah, so Trick Room's one of those ones that's like when you need it, you're gonna need it. Typically, I think that you're gonna want to preset Trick Room so when the boss uses it, it just undoes it. So like you could use it like the turn before or something. Trick Room raid is so spooky, yeah. And we'll learn it over... This is a decent raid set. Hurricane's not going to be that good though, so we're going to ditch that. Because you're only going to want to use it in Sun, really. And now we have Blast Burn. Choice Band, Giga Impact, Lax. Now let's see. Base 110. And then Giga is what? Oh, Stab Self-Destruct. I didn't think about. That could be another good physical exploder. But Giga Impact, I just think it's just going to be outclassed by Hyper Beam and Explosion from the normal type. Small optimization. Did you add the Berry Box guy in early Johto? Strings wise, I don't know. I don't remember specifically, so probably not. And it rolled Sassy with Head Smash, so. I want to do something cruel. What do you think about support Friend Guard Clefairy? I would have to look at the damage numbers on Clefairy. I believe Clefable also gets it. And I'd have to look at the damage numbers on going like Eviolite Clefairy versus Clefable. Or vice versa if they both get it. I really want to click Blast Burn on something. That Pharaoh just got cooked, quite literally. So let's see. Clefairy gets it. Base stats are kind of bad. So I think that you'd end up wanting to run Clefable anyway for it. Yeah, confirmed Blast Burn works. I need an Everstone. Would Mirror Coat counter Pokemon be useful? I don't know. Because of just like the way that the multi-turn thing plays out and then having negative priority. You'd have to, where I see it, a world of it being useful. I think they've talked about in the past potentially, instead of having the boss prioritize KOing things and then doing the most damage possible, so things like Chansey got screwed, and then certain Pokemon would just get deleted by the boss because it saw it was doing a lot of damage to them. And then that could cause like a steamroll or like a snowball effect where I want a future where my Wobs are useful again. Yeah, you still got your 6 Wob effects from Red. If they change it so that the boss decides to give an even distribution, I could see a boss where it's like single target and it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like let's say it's a 4-star boss and it just goes single attack across the whole team. Then you could get away with something like a Focus Sash counter, where the negative priority doesn't matter. You have to worry about ads, I guess. That could be played around. It would be that's like, this is all to say it's possible, but seems pretty unlikely. Forget mirror coat, mirror move on the 300 BP hyper beam. Does that work, or does it calculate with its own stats? What did I need? Everstones. So you get a stone, and I think you get an attack brace. Let's do that. I have no idea how it works, to be honest. Just put on my merc out and have fun with it. You might need to buff defenses and start countering to guarantee the fair targeting, but as of right now, fair targeting is a wild card. Yeah, like it's just purely a hypothetical. That would be like the only way that ends up working. We have 31-31, adamant, head smash, bang. We're gonna be minimum of 14, 18, 19. That's fine for something like this. This is already an expensive breed with the egg moves, and we will ignore gender, and now we will just sit and wait for the hatch. Let me see if I can do a quick super cheap Sceptile. What is it, Grovyle? That's the middle evolution. Trico, right. So we'll start with Trico. We'll look 28 and up with like a mild nature. 3K, like this would be decent. Grove. Like boom, I'm calling like 15K, call it a day. Here's my raid Grovyle, Sceptile. I'm perfectly content to spend 15K on a 29 special attack, 29 speed, 20 plus Pokemon. Like, this is not bad at all. So this will just click Frenzy Plant and die. Might need to start buffing defense. So this is like where you can like sneakily get really good. I already have my Samurai, but let's look at like Blastoise is one that's well thoroughly checked. So it's not as good of an example. Rampardos is a fossil Pokemon, not as good. $37 Naughty is like really close to being right there. So if you were to find a like a 30 Ditto for cheap, you could do, that's a 30 Ditto for cheap. 10K for 31. Yeah, fuck it. Let's get this one. And then snag this Rampardos. So this is like a decent Rampardos. It's going to cost me, it's going to end up being like 25K for both of those, another 20K, 30K ish for the whole breed. We're going to roll. So I'm giving, so basically what I did was I saw this Rampardos was here, Naughty. I could get a Ditto to breed with it. We're okay with it. The special defense drop. 30 attack is fine. And then I'm going to pass. We have the 30 attack to match, and then we're going to pass speed. And so we're going to pass nature and speed and just breed that real quick. And then boom, that's a 30-30. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that for these types of Pokemon. If I eventually need like a bulky Rampardos, I'll make a bulky Rampardos, but I'm going to have this basically for all eternity to just throw in whenever I need big old damage. And that's a raid Pokemon done for 30k. I don't want to. Oops. So like 2 raid Pokemon done. That like this I just got for 15k at 29.29. That's fine. It's gonna kind of overcap on damage anyway. This is like the hardest hitting grass attacker. Just rolled Rash Nature on the HA Charmander breed. Let's freaking go. And it's 31-31. Perfect. And the Rash will take care of your too high special defense anyway. No, it's fine as is. Yeah, throw Blast Burn on this and like boom, you're done. Easy peasy. Yeah, so I like pretty much everything outside of like the sun, the rain, and the electric teams. I'm just gonna get probably the top damage dealers of most types that don't require some sort of setups. Like Ghost needs status for Hex to be good, so I'm not going to focus too much on the Ghost users. And sorry for the egg animation bait. I mean, it would be wild if it was actually shiny. All right, so now we got the Adamant low roll on the HP, I think. I think we got a couple unlucky low rolls here. I already had a 5x31 modest hidden ability Charizard. Do you think that will be useful? Nah. I would probably just release it. I don't see why it'd be useful. Yeah, that's gonna be perfect. The case against having better stats, as I say, with like 28 special attack and then like 25 bulk across the board. The case against having that is if you click Blast Burn, you want to be dead the next turn. Otherwise, you're wasting a turn. You could try to anticipate that and click Weather Ball. But, you know, it's too hard to predict most of the time. You don't know what the boss is really going to do. So in terms of, let me go find most of my raid stuff. I have this. That's for that. That I'll eventually use. What was this for? Did I just catch one randomly, or was this like Lucky Chan or something? Well, I don't know. You're a rock climb, just a random rock climb Pokemon, I guess. You were Modest Hustle, yeah. So that's a ground type. Oh, I did breed another Litwick. I forgot about that. Okay. That's nice. I already have Cloyster for ice type. I have a Jinx that I was so nicely gifted from somewhere. There we go. So that's another ice type. I have Hydreigons for dragon. Thanks. Maybe we'll do an E4 one, breed a low defense one as well to be sure. I would put that as like a super, super low priority. Like you already have one that does it. It's really not that big of a deal if you live an extra turn accidentally, I don't think. Definitely wouldn't worry about that too much. What else do I have? Stabilize and stuff. I have that whole slew of random stuff that I bred for. Scrafty, I don't think it's going to end up being that good. Healer Chansey, not as good. Probably just want to click Aromatherapy. I made a Clear Smog. Horsey for no reason. Another Modest Dano that I can use. And then Naughty Cranidos, 30, 30. Oh, it's mixed. I could... if it was Modest, I could use it for farming the Donphans. So, and then here's 3 more raid Pokemon. Like bang, bang, bang. 2 rock users, 1 grass user. Now I just need to EV train and level all of these. Yeah, in terms of like offensive typing priority, like I said, focusing on fire. Fire neutral pretty much takes care of everything. The only thing that it's weak against is fire itself, that resists it. It's fire itself, water, rock, and what else? Or is that it? And dragon. So water takes care of the rock, takes care of the fire, doesn't hit itself super effectively, so that's what electric comes in for. And then for dragon, you just need ice and dragon. And so I've got a trainer rerun Cloyster for ice. I've got a Jinx for ice. Eventually I'll get an Articuno for ice. And then Glaceon, I think, is the last one. Like, that would be another good one that you could pick up for cheap, probably, with all the... with Alpha Swarms. What's its base? Yeah, 130, I think, is going to be one of the best. Oh, and Vanillix is set snow if you need it. So I have one of those too. So, like, I'm pretty set on ice. Yeah, Vanillix, exactly. Yeah. Where's my... There's my... Modest Vanillix. I think that I use that for Jimmy runs, not timid, right? Yeah, I need a timid one for Anarchy's new strat. So like all of those probably solid. Like between Hydreigon dropping a Draco and then a couple ice users. You're in the wrong section, by the way. Oh, did I never change to the new one? That's how long it's been since I streamed. Hello, hello. I have bred. So if you end up making an Archeops, heads up, it's an egg move. You need Relicanth Corsola to chain it. I almost just bred one without the egg move. So this ended up being like kind of an expensive breed. I just made this 30/30 Cranidos for a head smash user for pretty cheap. I think I bought the Cranidos for 6k, the Ditto for 5k, and then it was 5k for 6k for the Everstone, 10k for the Bracer. So we're just doing some cheap raid breeding. Let me edit the PokeMMO category. Let's go. I don't think that really makes a difference in terms of my viewership, but we are fixed. I think that I've gained followers this stream. So if you have followed, I don't have alerts or anything set up. So if you have followed, I appreciate it. Sent the berry box strings for a small update. I'm illiterate. Don't know where to obtain the apricorn box string is. I'm illiterate. I'll check that out after stream. Uh-oh, did Spidget go live? Damn, we're competing now. Hate that rivalry outrage is strong basically would only get used versus like Kingdra raid though. Yeah. It's so annoying that I don't even want to consider it. So what we're talking about is Haxorus. You could click outrage if you want to gamble, but Haxorus could theoretically get a rivalry buff after streams right now. You'd have to just reset the fight. Everyone would have to agree on a Haxorus gender and just only be that gender. And then you'd have to just re-roll the raid to make sure that you get the gender of the raid boss that you want. So if everyone just like agreed on female, you could all get an attack buff for your Outrage or Dragon Claw, and be one of the best dragon attackers. So in reality, I just think that it's probably not worth considering Haxorus. And then for the dragon type, it's just like pretty much everything that can Draco. So it's going to be Hydreigon is number one. I want to say special Salamence is good as well. And then the thing with Salamence is you can make it mixed. And then if you live after the Draco, then you can click Dragon Rush. because that's going to do more damage than the -2 Draco. So you kind of get that physical special split. It also depends if like something is a physical wall that the second Draco might still do more damage, and you also have the crit chance, I guess you could factor in too. But just as far as dragon goes, it's pretty much just like Salamence, Dragonite, Kingdra, I want to say. And I mentioned earlier in the stream talking about rain Pokemon, like you could add Kingdra very easily, even though it's not the best water rain abuser. You have that option to use it as a dragon attacker neutrally into other stuff. Best first hacks, for example. Yeah, so Salamence, Dragonite, Kingdra, Porygon Z, and then Jinx, Vanillix, Rotom Frost for Blizzard after that. And then Flygon is still in there for... Is Garchomp? What's its 80 base special? What's Flygon's? $80 base special. So yeah, both could be run specially. But then you also have Dragon Rush Garchomp that you can be... I think that's the best physical user. It does need defog to get that accuracy up to 100% for that evasion debuff. But what's up, Shamo? How you doing? So yeah, like I was saying, type wise, Sun is just really, 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 really good. Do you think Regen Mienshao can survive a hit after the CC and U-turn after? Like, theoretically, it could. But you're U-turning out, and then you're just bringing something in that will die, and you're only getting 1/3 of your HP back. And most of the time, most things are just going to die from one hit anyway. So I just don't see where... You're gonna click CC ahead of, or high jump kick ahead of whatever the boss is doing, and then die usually. So even if you could U-turn, you're better off just clicking high jump kick again and doing damage instead of getting 1/3 your HP back. Yeah, you're better off just doing damage twice. I think Mienshao has a high jump kick. Yeah, so high jump kick or close combat, whichever. High jump kick probably better, especially if you've got the defog. So that's another one. I don't think I ever bred a Metacham or a Hitmonlee. Do you want a Drought Setter slow? That way it procs and any other weather setter on the opposing team. So I don't think that the weather mechanic for most boss fights is going to be set by something that is like equivalent of using the ability. Hypothetically, let's say like a Torkoal raid. You could just... Weather setter will basically always be like boss ability. Exactly. So like Torkoal could be Drought, let's say, but then they'll probably just set Perma Sun, so it doesn't even matter. Pelipper will have Drizzle, but it'll probably just be Perma Rain anyway. A hypothetical Groudon Kyogre raid, probably just going to be Perma Rain, Perma Sun, respectively. So you're looking, I think that you'll just want to ignore that, and then where you are setting weather, where weather doesn't exist, and the speed won't matter. It would be kind of interesting, though, if they did add weather setting ads. Though that would be a nightmare, just because the randomness would just be awful. But like you could that could be an angle where it might be better to be like slightly slower. I would just count on making your things fast. You could theoretically just have a level 100 Torkoal. That'll probably be slower than everything, and then just have your Ninetales to be faster than everything else. So like Ninetales, you could have outspeed and do damage, or run support on certain thing. Do you run Heat Rock on Ninetales, or the boss be swept in 5 turns? I think the most low tier bosses will be swept in 5 turns. So if you just, you know, run the math on it, like let's say for the first turn you set 2 abilities. If you imagine like we have these 3 Pokemon out, and do I have a Murkrow here? Imagine that this Archon is the Murkrow, and this is the first turn that you have up. So someone brings Ninetales, someone brings a Murkrow to click Defog, and or let's say Tailwind. And then 2 people do damage, that's at 20%. And then four more people do damage, that's 40%. 4 more people do damage, that's 40%. That's 3-4 turns already there. How do you know so much about raids since they're not out yet? I just spend a lot of time thinking about what raids. Oh, they were released for Lunar New Year, so we know what mechanics were released, and then I'm basing all of the learnings from that, and then what we could potentially get and what we will do. Obviously, that things can change between here and then, but you know, just kind of like brainstorming what might work, and I'm pretty confident that kind of what I've described so far, the weather teams are all going to be very good where weather is settable. And then after that, you like damage will always, yeah, exactly. Damage is always damage, no matter what. There will be things that you need to like gotchas where you'll need to like have a Trick Room Pokemon, or have something that can survive a couple turns, or survive at least 1 turn to do damage twice, because you don't do enough damage across like the whole 24 Pokemon that you can bring to a raid. We'll figure those out when we get them, but you're still going to want to bring like 5 Pokemon in that case that can do 10%, that can do damage cap against the boss, or close to that. So it just does not hurt to make Pokemon that can just absolutely blast the boss and then die the next turn. And then potentially make Pokemon that can be. I'll just be on your team. You can carry me, Cap. I'll have lots of alts. I can imagine that there will be some flavor of like viewer carries, where I just transfer my team over to all of my alts to get all of the raids done. So did it when raids were out, and I'll probably continue to do it. But yeah, the question of having Heat Rock or not probably depends. The easier the raid, probably won't need it. Just because you're going to be doing more damage. I did 16 Excadrill raids carrying teammates. Was fun. Yeah, I did not do 16, but I probably did. I did 7 myself, and probably did another 5, 3 to 5, I'd say. Like one of my alts I'd saved for Pat. Yeah, 800k each. I think it's 7 still. No, 800 now, yeah. Exo was brutal in solo queue, yeah. It was so free if you just coordinated, and so awful in solo queue. Like, even if all you had to do for solo queue was go like, I think I kind of screwed everyone a little bit, because my video I was like, yo, Gliscor is really good for this, but in reality, Gliscor wasn't that good, and a lot of people kind of misused Gliscor. So what you wanted to do was just go like, where are all my Typhlosions? Oh my god, I have Spindas. I should probably sell these right now, right? How long has it been since the last... $170k? Yeah, I should probably sell these. So let me find my Typhlosions. Oh, if I could type, that helps. Yeah, so it's like if you just brought a Typhlosion, a Blastoise, and like a Garchomp, a Murkrow for, I think there might have been a late haze that you wanted or something like that, but you wanted a Tailwind. So you brought like 2 Tailwinds, 3 damage dealers, and then Gliscor as your last option if you have nothing less left to use. But people would lead Gliscor, click Swords Dance twice, click Earthquake once. It would get hazed, and then you would lose all of your stat boosts. Or I think there was a haze, right? And then it would just get so like they'd spend 2 turns setting up doing no damage while everything else is just getting rock slide to death. And then they were just kind of stalling for no reason on that Gliscor. So apologies for that. If I had waited a little bit longer and kind of fleshed out a strategy a bit better. Oh yeah, and the flinches were just awful. Yeah, it would have been way different. But that Gliscor raid is the perfect example of why, like, if you couldn't run Sun for that, but you could have run Sun Pokemon or Gallade or any of the Sand Rush was tough, so you needed Tailwind support the whole time. So like you with Perma Weather, I think fighting type ends up being the best. So it would be like Medicham, Hitmonlee, Gallade. If you had those 3, you could just click for 10% damage instantly. And then maybe like a Focus Blast, Lucario or something. Exca Permasand. Let's see what we got for damage dealers. Darmanitan Flare Blitz still up there. Hitmonlee High Jump Kick. Emboar Flare Blitz. Yeah, I guess because they don't need Sun. Is that damage right for Charizard, or are you missing the solar power loss of damage too? Because I feel like it's got to be below Chandelure, no? Because if like just... it would just be straight base 100 special attack versus straight base. What is like 140 on Chandelure? 145. But you do have the added base power of Blast Burn, but it's still only 20 more than Overheat, right? Yeah. So maybe it's a wash, but I would imagine they would be a lot closer. But yeah, like we still brought Typhlosions without Sun. We still brought Blastoises without Rain. They still chunked for sure. But you're just better off, you know, bringing those fighting types like a Medicham, Hitmonlee, clicking high jump kick. Darmanitan Flare Blitz would obviously do work. Yeah, Darmanitan's just like one of the highest damage dealers. So even where you can't set Sun, where something is super effective fire, like Darmanitan's way up there. Emboar, Chandelure, Volk is probably up there. Not in this pace, but it's close enough that you could use it. It's still in the usable range. The Sweet Scent tech I didn't know about. So the 70% moves becoming 100% is nuts. Yeah. And then what's even crazier is... oh, I don't have a Raikou. We'll do Magnezone. If you have the boss at -3, so if you click Sweet Scent twice, you get a 100% accurate 120 base power guaranteed paralysis move. So Zap Cannon after -3 evasion becomes a 100% accurate move. So you get a guaranteed paralysis. So that's going to be a crazy tech at some point, because you know that somebody's gonna be clicking Sweet Scent once most of the time, especially on the harder raids where, like, let's say you need Thunder. You're one more, like, even if you have to defog, you're just one more stage away from getting 100% accurate Zap Cannon, and that's speed control on demand. So you might not always need the Zap Cannon, but if it's available to you, so like you could, for like a hypothetical Raikou moveset or Magnezone moveset, you could have Thunder, Discharge, Zap Cannon, and then you have an electric move to click in 3 different situations. One where you need to kill ads, one where you need to do the most damage you possibly can, and one where you need paralysis and you need to do more damage, but you only can do it when you have -3 evasion. Um, so the fact that evasion does not get shrugged off by the boss is something that is just going to have to kind of permeate throughout the community so people understand how powerful that is, and enables, you know, rock as a type offensively. It enables all of these crazy hyper beam moves. Para 3 turns on boss, something like that. Yeah. Toxic lasted the longest, and then I think it was like burn and para were equal, and then sleep only works once and lasts like 2 actions or 1 action or something like that. So like toxic will be the best because it lasts the longest for hex. So it would be like Chandelure gets hex, right? Does get hex, so it'd be like Chandelure, Gengar. What else? Also, if you don't already use it, there's a good Jellicent. Thank you. That's another good one. Jellicent might be one of those niche ones where just because its special attack is so big, clicking Water Spout, it would be worth taking over or like a random water user. It's just having 2 stabs makes it useful across 2 raids. What is that? Pokedex. Jazz Cash, that's it. So this is super useful. So you can type in a move. I'd pull it up on stream, but I'm too lazy. Need to add some more calcs. Yeah. So like I'm just sorting hex by special attack. And we have Chandelure, Gengar, Zoroark, but doesn't have stab. Haunter doesn't count. Mismagius. Non-stab, non-stab. Rotom stab at 95. So you could do a base Rotom for hex. Rotom is just so good because you could just change the form and it becomes like the best ice type, the best fire type. Or like a usable fire type, a usable water type, a usable ice type, a usable ghost type, and then always a usable electric type. But yeah, so Chandelure, Gengar, Mismagius, Rotom, and then Cofagrigus, Spiritomb. Cofagrigus could be good because it's bulky enough that you could just click Hex and live. What raid would it be useful on though? Like hypothetical ghost raids, I guess. So let's say pull up a Chandelure raid. It's gonna be I guess weather, because so rain would be good for that. Maybe Golurk, rain. What are other Gen 5 ghosts? Are there any? Unova. Maybe like a Musharna raid. Trying to learn how to breed, it's just kind of complicated. It is complicated. Chandelure with Cloud 9. Oh, Rock, yeah. So 130 base power Hex would still be good. There must be like a psychic or ghost. Let me see. Yeah, it's tough to figure out. Like you could go, it would probably be some combination of like Ghost and Dark, where you could use Assurance would end up being the best team. So it's into something that's either Ghost or Psychic that isn't weak to one of the better types. Gengar with Weather, Assurance. Yeah, so confirming what I was just thinking out loud. Boosted Assurance, Boosted Assurance. Yeah. And then just, God, the neutral fire is just insane. Xanarchy, is that, did you fix the Charizard calc? Is that putting it down at like that +7 multiplier? Because I think it was ahead of Darmanitan before, no? But that's 7.7. That's fire in sun. Oh. Damn. So, okay, so it's just that boosted assurance is that insane. So neutral fire versus neutral sun fire versus super effective dark. Incorporates base stats of the boss. Okay. Let's see, Gengar. I should be pulling these things up on stream so people can see them, but basically Xanarchy is showing top 10 calced Pokemon versus a hypothetical Gengar raid, and we've got more special defense than defense, so physical attackers are going to do better. So like adaptability, Crawdaunt, clicking Assurance boosted, that meaning that like something else went first, so something clicked Sucker Punch and then Assurance was able to do max damage. Windrider, Shiftry, Darmanitan, Tyranitar, Absol, Charizard, Honchkrow, Bisharp, Weavile, Sharpedo. Weavile, a good one, as both utility and a dual stab for Icicle Crash and Assurance. Then you can click Brick Break on it as well. Maybe Night Slash if you need to go first to proc everyone else's assurances. Oh yeah. I could keep the stream going. But I'm kind of losing steam, and I do have to get some more work done that came up in the afternoon, so I'll probably just call it and we'll go raid Spidget. Before I head off, does anyone have any more questions, thoughts on raid Pokemon, whatever? Because otherwise, we'll just end it here. I think I'm almost done with this playlist too anyway, so that's a good time. Yeah, we're at the last song. What about the Critmons? Basically, every ghost is neutral to dark, which is weak to rock. Got it. I feel like the stream isn't done at all. Maybe I'll do like a bonus money making stream later tonight because I just have nothing going on. So I'll just like go get dinner And then I haven't done any money making. I could do like all my ho fights and then maybe a gym run or something, like a brain dead gym run to test out the route that I never finished. Which crit mons are you talking about? You wasted time. I'm trying to think. There, you could run Absol, Drapion, Kingdra. Okay, so you're setting up. Do they all get? So like Kingdra gets the crit ability. Which one is it? Sniper? Yeah. So Kingdra gets Sniper. Does Absol get it? Super Luck, and then Drapion must also be Super Luck. Yeah, Xanarchy kind of said it there. High base power moves are always better than high crit moves. So all of those abilities give you one crit stage, and then you can add one more via item in Scope Lens, I believe it is. Then you still need to kick Focus Energy. So you need to click a setup move. And so you're wasting additional damage from the item slot, and then you also need a setup move. So you need to be able to live a turn in order to get max crit. And then if you're not already, then you theoretically could live that extra turn and then click the damage move and crit. But, you know, you already haven't like done any damage yet. So not me spamming Lucky Chant and raids regardless of what's on the field. Yeah. So then there's the defensive side of things, where if people are running crit me not sweepers, you could buff them by using Lucky Chant. But I'm already out. I'm very bearish on the Lucky Chant sweepers, the crit sweepers, or the crit me not sweepers. Crit me not being like Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Reuniclus, for example. So you could run Lucky Chant so that I believe it was the Slacking raid where it used Focus Energy and increased its crit chance, and then your Metagross would just get obliterated, or your Reuniclus would just get clobbered. Yeah, bulk setup is bad. I might just do a whole video on how bulk setup is bad. I think Danny with 6Ys was gonna make a guide on it, but I haven't heard about it. And if he doesn't do that, then I'm gonna do it. Just to kind of demonstrate, I can just like lay out hypotheticals on like on a spreadsheet. Yeah, that enabled you to solo that raid instead of getting unlucky with crits. But now that we have fighting types, it's fine early on. With more data, you can just pump much more damage. Exactly. We know all of it. I'm super excited that I got my Grovyle because I didn't know if I was going to do any of that. So I got stream recap, got Grovyle, Rampardos, Jinx is already done. Flower Gift Cherrim. I bred my Samurott, my Empoleon. We'll eventually want Define. I don't know if I'll do it on this one. I'll probably make a different one. It feels awful putting a water patch on something with those IVs. And that. And yeah, the Archon. Oh god, don't want to move all those. What is going on? Why is it selecting? There we go. Yeah, so pretty stoked with all of this, and I'm just gonna have to grind the fuck out of experience. So maybe I'll have that up on like a side thing, and then just do some easy gym runs on my main on stream later tonight. B buttons, yeah, I hit it after. I must have hit it to try to bring up my bag. It always gets me. All right, let's raid Spidget. Press 1 in the chat if you would be around later tonight. I'm paying for my leveling. Bro, I'm broke as fuck and I don't even like money making. Like, so, yeah, one's in the chat if you would watch money making stream later tonight. It's probably around, I have to pick up food at around, let me see. Now my phone doesn't want to work. maybe I could start earlier and then just take a break and leave stream up. It would be late Eastern. It would probably be like 9:30 Eastern. 9:30 Eastern. Is there YouTube VOD? Yeah. There'll definitely be YouTube VOD. Is it good enough with Braviary to coach the team through while you're at what? Oh, I got good enough to coach the team through Braviary. Dude, Braviary fucked me up every time because it did the whirlwind at start and I forgot every single time. So I wasn't even good at coaching it. That was a funny one. There will be a YouTube VOD for sure. Unless like it just glitches for some reason and doesn't save it, but I'm pretty sure it's set up to automatically do that. Yeah, so I'll think about it. I might just hop on while I'm money making and do that. Otherwise I might take it easy tonight, go to bed early. 3:30 for you. Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably pretty late. I'll probably have to do some work. I might play a little bit on the side. Yeah, who knows? Might go live later, might not. Play it by ear. I will try to stream sometime next week as well. Like a night stream, and hopefully I have a little bit more of a free schedule, so I'm still going to try to record the battle point farming video for that team and other stuff, and maybe get a PvP team together to do some HO spam. Oh, that's another angle. Last little tidbit. Keep an eye on PvP reward Pokemon. They're going to be super ideal for raid Pokemon. Like they'll just be a good use case for you. So let's see what we got. Superior would be a good one, but you still have to ability patch it. But that's, I mean, could be fine. Probably do that on something that you could eventually sell. So maybe not do Superior for OU. Like bad example this week. UU Umbreon, not that great for raids, except for the foul place memes. I was in the middle of 50 streak. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, you're a god gamer. Like doubles, perfect. Get a quick 25 or 31 Chandelure, Modest that you can just spam in raids. That one that runs overheat. Hitmontop would be good for doubles, but not really good for Skullbat. Also not that great. But like keep an eye on it. Like Dragonite is a common one that comes up in OU, and it's like, when am I ever going to use an inner focus Dragonite? And the answer is raids. You could just use an inner, like it doesn't need multi-scale. You can just drop a Draco. So make a special or mixed Dragonite, and drop a Draco, or maybe click Heal Bell or something like that. So decent use case for all of those reward Pokemon. So keep an eye on those. Gives you an excuse to kind of like do something different too. If you're not used to PvP, learn something new about the game, play more. And then speaking of PvP, we're going to go raid Spidget. So thank you all so much for tuning in after I haven't streamed in like a billion years. I didn't think anyone would show up, but I was just going to be talking to myself for an hour. So it's so cool that people want to watch me play the game. And other than that, Americans, enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Everyone else, do whatever it is you do. And have a good weekend, all of that stuff. Thanks again. Everyone say hello to Spidget. If you are on YouTube, I will drop it in the chat, a link to his YouTube stream. But otherwise, yeah, thanks again and have a good one.